Hello, my name is Marese McElduff. I'm a founder member of the Acupuncture Council of Ireland, which is the regulatory body for acupuncturists in Ireland. I run a clinic in Limerick and have been running a clinic in Limerick for 25 years now. I do acupuncture and hypnosis and counselling in my clinic. People come in and ask, can acupuncture help for depression and anxiety? And the answer is yes, it can. It can do by releasing endorphins from the person's own brain. And your endorphins are your own feel-good hormones, and they also relieve anxiety, stress and pain. When you use an acupuncture point in the body, it stimulates these chemicals in the brain, and this has been proven by MRI scans, etc., by using points which are not acupuncture points and acupuncture points, and the difference that it can cause in the brain shows that it stimulates the production of serotonin and endorphins, which help with anxiety and depression. That's a piece of string kind of question. It depends on the health of the person. The underlying health is very important. The lifestyle, the diet, and all of these things are very important in this situation. If the person is strong and healthy and has had the depression or anxiety for a short period of time, it is much easier to treat. Maybe 2 or 3 treatments will do the job, and a person can get back to normal. If the depression has been long-term and maybe even since childhood, it's much more difficult to treat, really, in that it takes a longer period of time to resolve, because you're going back into further past issues, etc. And it's more entrenched in the person and therefore more part of their personality, so it does take a bit longer. Maybe 10 treatments, and then maybe a few top-up treatments occasionally would really help enormously to have a better lifestyle and a better life. In recent times, there seems to be quite a lot of young people coming for treatment, and it can be very useful. A lot of parents, of course, are very worried about young males, particularly with the rate of suicide that's around at the moment. It's particularly serious, and people are very aware of it. The reason it's very useful for young people and adolescents, in that acupuncture has always been known to help with transitions in life, and there's a very big transition happening in young people during adolescence. They have the social, the physical, the mental and the emotional aspects to contend with, and a huge lot of pressure with exams and peer pressure, etc. So if they can be helped with acupuncture, that's absolutely fantastic, and it does really help them to feel more confident and calm in themselves and more in control of their lives. Acupuncture is absolutely amazing for all things to do with fertility, pregnancy, breech, bringing on babies who are a little bit slow to come into the world. And it is particularly useful for women who have depression during pregnancy, as they're unable to take the normal drugs associated with depression. And therefore, the depression can be treated very effectively with acupuncture and safely with acupuncture, and has a very good result. Some people inquire about acupuncture for the treatment of depression or stress or anxiety, and they would often ask if it's possible to have acupuncture, or if there's any point in having acupuncture while they're on medication. And the answer to that is yes, because acupuncture works in a different way to medication. Acupuncture will help the body to restore its own equilibrium. In fact, what we're doing in acupuncture is helping the body to heal itself, because when you help the body to heal itself, it helps all of the different aspects: the tension in the body, the physical tension in the body, the emotional tension in the body, and the mental over-excitedness or dullness, whichever is associated with a particular condition of that particular person. In the case of somebody who's been on long-term medication for anxiety or depression, it can sometimes be difficult for them to reduce their medication or to go off their medication. But with the help of their doctor and their acupuncturist, the acupuncture can help that transition. Again, this is where acupuncture really helps with transitions in life. Unfortunately, many of us go through life with ups and downs, and acupuncture is particularly useful for very traumatic times in one's life. For instance, like shock or bereavement, or the shock or the trauma of being given a bad diagnosis, for instance. 1 or 2 treatments can really help to strengthen up the person's system again. As in the case of bereavement, I know from my own experience, 1 or 2 treatments can really bring one back to oneself and to clear one's head, make one feel more earthed and together very quickly and very, very effectively. In some cases, people are going through long treatments for illnesses such as cancer, and it can be very, very difficult to go through these treatments with the drugs and the side effects of the drugs, the worry and the trauma of the diagnosis, and whether the illness will recur, etc. Acupuncture is very useful in these cases in that it brings down the stress levels. It can help the person to relax and cope, and brings down the pain and the side effects of the treatments which they're having at the time with great effect.